Welcome, the Northman Coaching Podcast with Gary and AJ. Thanks for tuning in. Building a better you, shoulder to shoulder, brick by brick. Let's go.
I am your host, Gary, and today we are going to be not wrapping up, but revisiting the last few core values that we discussed, and that would be awareness, abundance, acceptance, and accountability. So I've given you my perspective from a man's point of view and how I've used these values not only in my life, but within the men that I have coached. So I'm going to bring on a special guest today, and her name is Sylvia Cardarelli, and she is going to discuss the women's side or her perspective on these core values. So I introduce to you, Sylvia. How are you doing?
Hey, Gary. I am Sylvia Cardarelli. Gary is a friend of mine. We met through my husband. I stole my husband from him, his best friend, his roommate. Yeah. And Gary and I have gotten close since then. He is now my son's godfather. Great father. And I respect his core values in life. So here I am. It's nice to be on your podcast.
It's nice to have you. So I talk a lot about values, growth, and brotherhood here, but values don't exist in a vacuum. Men and women, we often experience things very differently. So tonight is not about proving who was right. It's about understanding, even though Sylvia already knows that I'm always right. So,
And Gary knows that I'm always right. So there we have it, people.
and this is why you and I are not married. It would never work.
Yeah, right.
So I don't really want to talk about those four values right now. What value mattered the most to you while you were growing up?
Family.
And why is that?
So I am a children. I'm number 2 of 5, actually. And my mom just always taught us that we have each other. The value family, value, work. My mom actually, another thing that she taught us to value work ethics, have proper work ethics, and presenting yourself good.
Okay.
Present yourself the way you want to be seen, So
Okay.
family is my main
I like
thing,
that.
what we grew up with.
Very good.
Yep.
So what value do you think people talk about the most but practice the least?
I'm going to say understanding.
Understanding. Can you explain that or no?
So I think people want to pretend they understand, not pretend, pretending to understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
But they can't possibly understand where you're coming from. But they'll say they practice understanding, and clearly you can't understand fully what somebody else is going through. Period.
100%. That's a great answer.
So I feel like a lot of people underutilize understanding.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think they pretend, they say I understand, but they don't. I think they just want to shut you up. So I understand.
Right.
Don't talk anymore.
Exactly.
I get it. I don't want to know anymore. So
Right.
yeah, I get that. I get that a lot, especially with me. As I think I tend to go deeper on a lot of things. People are like, yeah, I get it, and they walk away. They don't really want to get it.
Right.
So, all right. So with the values that I've discussed over the past few weeks, so the first one is abundance, and to me, abundance is scarcity versus trust. So you can not have something, or you can trust that you will be able to get something. Pretty much. So it's not about money. It's more of a mindset. It's opportunity, gratitude, and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
when you hear the word abundance, what does it mean to you as a woman?
For me, abundance means many things. I have an abundance of love in my house. There's an abundance of understanding in my house. So again, for me, abundance is, like you said, not money, not necessarily more of an object, but having more of core values, I guess, is
Okay.
a good word.
Sure.
Because
Okay.
yeah, it's not just like you said, money or having more abundance. Abundance means in the dictionary more of.
Yes.
But again, it's not just necessarily money, where is what everybody always goes to.
Yes.
It's
I want everybody
an
goes to
abundant
an object.
An object. Exactly.
So whether it's money, more stuff, more this, more that, whatever. But so to me, it's a mindset. We'll get to
It
that
is a
in a
mindset,
minute because I
yes.
don't want to ruin
I
my
agree
next
with
question for you. So
Okay.
all right, and this is a good question because I think women and men are going to get a lot out of this one. Do you think that women experience scarcity differently than men? And scarcity is pretty much the opposite of abundance. Like if you don't have it, you're living in scarcity.
Right. I do believe men see things differently.
Hmm.
I believe, yes, I agree. Yes, I think they see things differently because me as a woman, I can't speak for everybody, and I can't speak for everybody's situation, my situation in my life or whatever. Know that to do a certain thing, I got to do a certain thing, whatever I want. Where I know when I was in that situation, the man that I was with at the time, did the complete opposite. So yes, I see things. Women see things differently
Okay.
or view things differently versus like scarcity and abundance. Yes. So that's my answer. My final answer is yes.
That's your
I
final
think
answer?
we see
Yes.
things differently.
Okay. So, and I want to throw, I
Yeah.
feel like when women live in scarcity, it's truly they become more emotional, more erratic, I think. And when a man is living in scarcity, or if he doesn't, and I hate to say the word living in scarcity, but like, so when I don't have what I need, I just go out and get it. Whether it's a second or third job or a side hustle, whatever I got to do, I go out and get what I got to get versus living, biting my
That's
nails.
also a mindset.
True.
So, okay, so I will speak on my situation. And I was a single mom for 17 years before,
Mhm.
I met my husband. You know that. And being in that situation, I was the provider. I was the one that worked. I was the one that provided. I was the one that made sure I went out to get for me. His partner, on the other hand, was doing what he wanted to do,
Mm.
not making things happen, not helping, not being there the way he should have. And he was living the same way. It's essentially the same way, you know what I mean? Just both there.
Okay.
So it's a mindset. It really is a mindset. It all depends on where your mindset and where your core values are or where you've come from and how you've grown to accept and maneuver that into your own life as I did. And again, I only speak for me and I can't speak for anybody else's situations or whatever, but that situation specifically was, I mean, if we're doing man versus woman, what a man and a woman does, I was the one that wasn't emotional, wasn't
Okay. So
biting
that
my
actually leads
nails.
me.
I did it. I made sure it got done.
That takes me
He
to a
was the
whole
one
nother
biting his
podcast
nails and
episode.
like all of that. Okay, so we'll do that another time. Connections lost.
Can you hear me still?
I can hear you again now.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Anyway, we'll have to edit that part out. That takes me to a whole nother level or a whole nother episode, because if the man does not take on the masculine role, then the woman is forced to step into that role.
Yes.
So,
Yep. That is a whole nother podcast. I agree. Yes.
so that's it. So a message to the men out there: if you want your woman to be in the feminine role, you have to take it. You have to step in and become or be the man that you're supposed to be. So there's that for you
Right.
guys. Okay. So my next question, since you've actually just answered 2 questions in a row with that, is: can somebody be financially successful yet still emotionally scarce?
Absolutely.
Okay. Have you been there, and can you touch on that at all?
Yeah. So, I mean, I've never been rich. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm rich,
Yeah.
obviously, but I've always worked to provide and make sure I had what I need for me and my son, my child. Now I have a whole family, so we're fast forward. But emotionally, I make sure I was emotionally there for my son as well. So I had to hold mines inside, no matter which
Okay.
way I sliced it. I had to provide and I had to make sure I wasn't erratic or emotional or any of that for the sake of my kid and his growth and development in life.
I like that.
So for me, it goes, my life isn't just me anymore. It hasn't been since I was 22 when I had my
Okay.
first kid.
Now
My first thought has always been my kid.
okay. And then that's an honest, normal, maternal, uh, feeling and thought. So at what point do you take back your life? At what point is it yours again?
It was becoming mine again until I had another baby.
Whose fault is that?
That's your friend's fault. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke. I love my baby. I would
I know.
never,
I know.
that's a whole nother podcast for you too, actually, because you do have to have your own separate life and things. I do believe now that I have a partner with me helping me raise my kids.
Okay.
It's easier for me to have emotions now.
Okay.
Does that make
And
sense?
absolutely, because now you have someone that's growing on that path with you, and they're there working with you. They're not against you. You're not fighting them.
I
It's a
don't have to
partnership.
be both masculine and feminine. And in that saying, like, I can just be myself, a woman.
Right.
So I have the opportunity to be emotional if I want to. Am I emotional? I'm not overly emotional like many women are. And again, I am only speaking for myself and experiences that I've seen in life. But I do have more of an opportunity to be more emotional now
Okay.
and more biting my nails if I needed to. But I don't have to because,
Right. All right. So,
life is great.
and this goes back to what we were discussing prior to recording. Is that I love the fact that I am a 100% dad 50% of the time. So
Yep.
I it's when I have my daughter here, it's about her. I will do whatever I have to do to make sure she has everything she needs and that she is thriving.
Yep.
I'll do the same even when she's not with me, which is with her mother. But those weeks when she's with her mother, that's her mother's job. And if I'm needed, I'm there. But those are the weeks where I am me, where I do whatever Gary wants to do. So
Right.
not that I'm
And and that makes a lot of sense. And in my situation, I am a mom 100% of the time, but so is Paul. He's a dad 100% of the time. However, if we need a moment or if we need to do something or if we need our time for ourselves, we also have it now because we have each other to just
right,
kind of do it.
right. And once again, that
So
goes
it
right back to the
balances.
partnership and the balance. So that's beautiful.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right. Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the next value. The next value we did that I had discussed was acceptance. So, an acceptance is well, all right, so acceptance is not surrender. It's purely honesty. It's actually honesty in its purest form, if you will. If you accept what is instead of
Mhm.
trying to change it or manipulate it, so you can accept the fact that you are in a good relationship. You accept the fact that you share your duties as parents versus fighting, saying I do more than you, which that happens to a lot of people. But also accepting who
Yes.
you are in general without Paul or the kids or whatever. So
Yeah.
to you,
Instead of accepting that my first son's father was who he was, I wouldn't have been able to provide and do the things I did for my son at that time.
okay,
I would have just gave up and let the system deal with it instead of being a single mom working a nursing job and working 60 hours a week to make sure my house was taken care of. I had food in my house, those things.
so you refuse to
Childcare
give
was
up.
provided at that time when I needed it. I did not give up. I
Perfect. I
accepted
love that
that
because a
I
lot of
had to
people
work
give up.
and be that.
A lot of people give up, and
Exactly.
that's
There's
it's
a
inner.
difference. There is a difference.
Yes. It's inner weakness. Like, there's been times in my life where I've, like, I'm ready to throw my hands up, but then I'm like, "Wait, what example am I setting for my daughter? What example am I setting for my clients?
Right.
What example am I setting for myself?" Like, look in the mirror and say, "Threw my hands up?" So you
Right.
accept that, things are not
Exactly.
the way they should be. Things are harder than you want them to be, and that's when you go out and you fight. You get what you have to get.
And accepting my situation for what it was, like I said, it only bettered me for my future, for accepting Paul to come into my life and change everything I was and everything we were at the time. Like, I never expected to have another baby in my 40s,
Right.
but it happened, because I was able to accept how I lived instead of giving up to it.
Right.
I
Okay.
still worked. I still did what I needed to do. And it brought me to where I am now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I accepted it. Abundance comes along with it, with
Yes.
acceptance.
I love how you tied, and that's why I'm doing these right here because they all 4 of these or 5 of these, whatever it is, they all tie in together.
They connect. Yeah,
Absolutely. They
absolutely.
I'm actually convinced, I haven't done all the work yet, but I'm convinced that every single value in this deck and maybe all values connect in some way, shape, or form. So,
Well, they do.
um
They absolutely do because life connects.
mhm, it does.
Just how everything on the planet Earth, the DNA, it's in our DNA.
Mhm. I love it.
Every single thing on this earth,
Wow.
it's connected. So
The
you're
name of this
right.
ti
Yes, core values
the name of
all
this,
connect.
episode should be, Sylvia Gets Deep.
Yeah, I know.
I love it. That was good. I like what you just said. Everything does connect if you want it to.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can break that connection
No,
if you
it
want to,
not if you want it to, it just does.
but you
Whether
can
you
refuse to
want it to
accept
or
that.
not, it's accepting that it does.
Yes, exactly. Wow, look at us go here. All right. All right, so the next part of acceptance is self-acceptance. Do you think that women see self-acceptance different than men? And if so, how?
I do think yes. I think women, again, I'm only going to speak for myself and the situations and people I know. I mean, Women have a harder time accepting themselves for what they are.
Why is that?
I can't say I do because I do not. I accept exactly who I am. I know who I am. I I I do work on things to better the things that I don't like about myself because obviously we have things that we don't like about ourselves,
Mhm.
but it goes back to the acceptance, Women, I believe, have a harder time self-accepting than men do. I think that's my opinion
Why do you think that?
because women are emotional creatures.
Hmm. Okay, I'll give it to you. So I can't say that you're wrong or that you're right. I just know that it took a long time. It's only been a few years, I'd say 5 years at most, that I have truly accepted me for who I am. When I first went through my divorce, I thought, dating all these women that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't rich enough, I wasn't whatever enough. I couldn't accept me for who I was. And it was just, probably maybe 4 years ago where I actually said, you know what? This is me. This is who I'm gonna present to people. And if I'm not good enough for them, then that's fine. See you later. And here I am still single. So I guess I'm too good for people or not good
So,
enough, whatever. But I'm good enough for me. So self acceptance for me was a little difficult,
okay. Again, me personally, I've always, not always, I'm not, that would be a lie. More in my late 20s is when I started to accept myself for all my flaws and everything. And again, that helped. I have friends that are females that still haven't accepted themselves for who they
Okay.
are, and they're older than I am. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So for me, and I feel like in my life and friends situation, whatever, the women have more harder times accepting themselves
Okay.
versus the men.
Okay.
But again,
I,
everybody individually is different.
true. But I think overall, as a species, as men and women separate, most men act like the same for the most part, and most women act the same for the most part. When it comes
Mhm.
to emotional or, you know, values or just how they act on the next level, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also hard for a lot of people to change.
Okay,
So,
so what happens when people
okay.
confuse acceptance with approval?
I think a lot of people confuse acceptance with approval.
Okay,
And I'll speak on a situation that I won't say anybody's names, and I'll just
yeah,
kind of give a
that's
quick
fine.
little rundown. A friend of mine, instead of accepting what her situation is, she wants approval for the situation. And as a friend, I'm not giving you approval because that's not that you need to accept what it is. This is what it is. This is clearly what it is, but you want it to be approved. It's not something that's okay in life.
Right. But if
And I
you
think
say as a
I
friend, it's
know
okay,
it's confusing.
it's not confusing. Not at all. Some men do the same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's like validation. So my life is terrible. So let's say I'm broke and I don't pay my bills, and I go to you and I say, man, I've got no money. I'm not paying my bills, and you say that's okay. You've just approved or you validated that
Right.
I'm still a good that it's fine that I'm not doing anything to fix this situation that I'm in. So now I can approve of my situation. I can pretend that I'm accepting it because you said it's okay, and so did the next person.
Right.
So, so I think part of acceptance is saying, is this good or is this bad? And if it's not good or you're not happy, then you have to make that change.
Yeah.
So, so my next thing, which is
Yeah.
powerful, you ready for it? Here we go. So, what would you say to any woman out there listening right now about acceptance or accepting who you are?
I would say always accept who you are. Doesn't matter what anybody else sees of you. Every single person on this earth has their own opinion on things, period. Everybody has a difference in opinion. Every single person's opinions are different. So accept who you are because no matter what, someone else is going to have a different opinion.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
You know what they say about opinions.
You can have an opinion. But they no, what do they say?
Everyone's got them, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, everyone does have them.
And we all have something else
And it
too, and
doesn't
they
mean
stink.
that they're yeah. Always accept who you are. That'll be my wise words. Always accept who you are because it doesn't matter. People are always gonna have their own opinion no matter
Mhm.
what.
So, and I'm going to add one step to that, just for all people, men, women, whatever. Accept who you are, and if you don't like what you're accepting, then change it. You have the power
Change
to
it.
change anything that you want to change. It might take work, it might be hard, but if you are not happy with something that you have in your life, make that change. Accept the better version.
That was where I was going with my earliest statement when I was saying accepting change. People can't accept, a lot of people, it's hard for women to change or to accept change.
Yes. Okay. It's hard for a lot of people to accept it. Everybody, I think.
Right,
You have to truly want it to make that change. So
right.
So enough with acceptance. We've accepted that. We're done with acceptance. Let's roll into the next
Yeah.
part is accountability, and that's ownership without shame. So, and I think that this rolls into acceptance in the fact that if you can accept who you are, whether that needs changing or not, you now have to take accountability for that. Why are you in this spot?
Yeah.
If it's a good spot, what did you do to get here? Have gratitude for the people that helped you get there. If you're in a bad spot, what did you do to get in that spot? So I could be in a bad spot and I could blame you for it all day long. And it might be your fault, but at some point, I listened to you and I made a choice and a conscious effort to listen to you. So therefore, puts it right back in my court. What does accountability mean to you?
Accountability means taking whole responsibility for everything that's going on in my life, my situation, my circle.
Okay.
Accountability.
All right.
Accepting things for what they are.
Tying it
Here
again.
it
I
is.
love it. Yep. That was quicker. That was much
I
quicker.
actually saw it this time.
Lucky you. I don't
Yeah.
care. I see them all the time. I'm done. I'm over them. So
I see them all the time.
what does accountability look like to you in a healthy relationship? So with you and Paul, what does accountability, not only for you, but for your accountability for him and his accountability for you? What does that look like? Can you explain that?
Oh, okay. Well, we have our roles here in our house,
Mhm.
and we accept the roles we have, so it works out.
Okay.
Accountability. Like he is responsible for paying our mortgage, and I'm responsible for paying our electric, and I'm accountable for it. And he knows it's going to be done, and I know it's going to be done. So we accept that. And again, we accept our roles
Okay.
for what they are.
I like that actually.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you ever go and
Okay.
check to make sure the mortgage is paid?
Nope, never
Okay.
once.
Okay. So then that actually that's good because not only is that personal accountability for each of you guys, but it's also trust. We're not going to get into trust
Yeah,
today. That's a whole nother episode, but there
that's a
is no such
different
thing as a
episode.
relationship that does not have trust in it. So
Right.
in my opinion, trust is
I
the
agree with that.
ultimate foundation of a relationship. So with accountability, what is one thing or one truth about yourself that was the hardest for you to own?
My addictive personality.
Okay. You want to go into that more or no?
Well, obviously, I'm a smoker. It's hard for me to I'm addicted to cigarettes.
Okay.
That's I guess that's the plain way to put it. I haven't accepted it because I do want to quit, but it's hard.
Okay.
So again, it goes back to my addictive personality.
So you've accepted that you have an addictive personality and you hold yourself accountable for that.
Yes.
You that's just who you are.
Yeah. Yep.
No. I don't condone smoking, but whatever. But you have taken the responsibility of that role. So that's good. I like that. It's no one else's fault.
No, it's not. It's my own. It's my addictive personality that makes me go back. And I've quit for weeks and gone back. And I quit when I was pregnant and went right back.
Mhm.
It's not an easy habit to break, but it's as easy as I need it or want it to be. It's just hard for me.
Okay. That's fine. And that is acceptance right there. And I love that. It's hard for you and you're okay with that. It's good. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move off of accountability. What was the next one? This is a good one because you're married. You've been married for years now. Affection.
Affection is showing, like, he went and took the clothes out of the dryer without me asking. That's
Okay.
affection. That's showing care. To me, that's an affectionate thing without touch.
Okay.
That's caring. That's
Yeah.
showing that
That
you
that
care,
is
that you're doing things for your household.
that's deep affection, honestly. So my next thing is has that affection changed from the dating life to the married life?
Okay, so from the dating life to the married life, because we went from dating to having a kid, married, it kind of went really fast for us, as you know. It went from physical touch to everything around us, affection,
Okay.
from dating to married. Does that make
Yeah,
does
absolutely.
that
So I'm
count?
so to speak what my knowledge on affection and dating to marriage is when you're dating or it's new, it's fresh, it is all about I love you and physical touch. and it's very
Yeah.
emotional. But a lot of men,
Right.
I'm not sure about women, but they fear the long-term commitment because that I want to say that it fades, but that's not really the right word because what it does is it grows into what you just said, into taking care of the household, taking care of you emotionally, and keeping the household
Right.
stable.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Affection.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, again, I just bought my husband a new lunch bag because his old one was crap. And he kept telling me, don't buy one, don't buy one. And I randomly got it because I was at Walmart and I was like, oh, you know what? This is a nice bag for my husband.
Okay.
Affection. I can't
Absolutely.
physically touch you right now, but here you go. I love you. Here's a lunch bag since your other one was crap.
And I'm sure he appreciated it.
He did. Absolutely. He
Now,
was, he was very sweet about it.
if you had bought that lunch bag for him on your second date, how would that have gone over?
It wouldn't have put it on our second date.
Right.
It would have been a little weird.
That's the point I'm getting at. Like how affection changes. Like that.
Yeah.
That was a very awesome thing
Yeah.
to do. You weren't asked to do it. You just felt it in the moment,
Right.
and you did it.
Right.
But if you felt that to
Right.
buy him a lunch bag on the second date, I don't know. That would be weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a bit much.
okay,
Overbearing. How can affection heal in a relationship?
not this heal the relationship itself. So
Um,
if the relationship is broken or it's in trouble, how does affection help make that stronger?
Understanding each other.
Hmm. Okay.
If you're understanding each other better, your affection will be more pure and it should be able to help heal what the situation is.
Hmm. Okay. I like that. That was good. Because that's going to roll into the next one, which is attentiveness, which is it's really presence and intentional care.
Yeah.
So if you are instead of she doesn't understand me, or why don't you understand what I'm trying to say? But if you would take the time to listen and understand, to know what the person's thinking and feeling, and then doing what's in your heart, not doing what she says to do, but what does your heart tell you to do? Now you're being attentive.
Right.
So, uh,
Yes.
so with
Yes.
attentiveness, what is that something that Paul does to make you feel truly seen?
Everything. No, he's very attentive. He is very attentive. Like when I dyed my hair, I mean, you
Mhm.
can't tell because I got a bunch of grays in it right now, but he mentioned it without me saying, oh, hey, look, I'm dyeing my hair. Or hey, look, I dyed my hair. He noticed it and said he loved it before I even had to
That's
make it
awesome.
a thing.
Okay,
Attentive. Like that's very attentive.
absolutely. A
He
lot of men
pays
don't notice the
attention.
small
He
things.
cares about what he does. Yeah, yeah. It goes on another
Excellent.
plane.
Yeah,
I
no,
live right by the airport, so
so do I.
clearly there's a
Just
lot
a
of
little
planes
closer.
out here. Sorry.
Yes. So all right, so Paul is very attentive. Do you think that people these days are less attentive than they should be or were at one point in life, and why?
I do. From what I see generally outside of my relationship, a lot of people are now more all about themselves and worried about themselves
Mm,
versus their partners or other people in general.
okay.
Again, I only speak on what I see or
Mhm.
notice around me and everything, but
And why do you think that is?
I think a lot of people are more self-absorbed
Okay. In what?
in themselves
Okay.
versus being attentive to other people.
Or their surroundings. And I think that goes back
Yes.
to I don't know if it was the first one or not, but the self-acceptance. They're
Right.
so busy trying
Okay.
to be what they're not, to accept themselves, that they can't even pay attention to the important people in their life.
Right.
So, yeah, and I agree with
And
you.
look at that, how it all connects.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But and that's I asked you that question because that's how I feel also. Like people these days, especially these days with smartphones and everything, you can get everything you want with the push of a button. I mean, I could put
Yeah,
this on pause and go on my phone, and in an hour, I can have groceries and a bunch of Amazon stuff at my front door. So I want it now. I'm all
absolutely.
about what I can do right now instead of listening to what's going on around me.
Yeah.
And that I feel is part of the downfall of the world. So,
Yes.
um,
The lack of connection. There's a very big lack of connection now.
yes. So as far as my last question for attentiveness is as society as a whole, have we confused being available or attentive with being present?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Can you go into that or no?
I believe yes. So people would rather say, yeah, I was there versus I was there, but X, Y, and Z happened. So you're there, but you're not really there because
Right.
you're just doing it to show social media that you were there.
That's a whole nother thing right there. The highlight reel.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the highlight reels. Everyone's got them. And yes, I do agree with you. That's another reason why I asked that question. People, I think they want to say, yes, they're there. Here I am. I'm not listening to a word you're saying. The
Not a
words are coming
word.
out and I'm hearing them,
Right.
but I'm not listening. I'm not taking it in the way I should.
It's blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Yep.
Pretty much. And that I don't know why that is. I don't know why. It's like I feel like if I'm showing up, if I'm going to be present, I'm going to listen and hear you and understand what you're saying. If I don't get it, I'm going to ask more questions. Attentiveness. And I think I only have one more value? Yeah. Awareness. And that's really very similar to attentiveness. So awareness is, self-awareness is emotional intelligence, I think. A lot of, understanding, being aware of who you are and how you feel, that is emotional intelligence. Do you
I
find that
could agree with
do you
that.
find that you are emotionally intelligent?
I do. I
I think
do.
most women
Because
are.
I am very of my emotions, my surroundings, my inner thoughts, and whether they're good or bad, I'm aware of them.
Okay.
And I accept what I think and feel and who I am.
Okay.
Accountability. Yep.
That's beautiful. And I think a lot of men struggle with that, to be aware of their emotions. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, I was taught it was to be a boy, go from a boy to a man, you suppress that. You don't have feelings. You want something to cry about? I'll give you something to cry about. So
Yeah.
it took a long time for me to become emotionally intelligent. And that's one of the gifts that I think that, oh, I shouldn't have said that word. That's going to ruin my next question. That's one of the skills that I am proud of. Like I think that I know that when I go out with different women here and there, that one quality that I bring to the table is that I am emotionally intelligent. So, which is confused with masculinity a lot. So I'm not only
Hmm.
am I emotionally intelligent, but I'm also very masculine. So, and I think a lot of women think that
Okay.
masculinity is I can beat you up, I can fight, I can whatever.
No.
So no, you don't think that?
Masculinity is having the strength.
Yes, and
No.
knowing when to use it.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
That's
So
my opinion on it.
you're one of the I think you're one of the few. Maybe I only know a few that think differently. But yes, it's being able
Yeah.
to defend, being able to have that or having that strength and knowing when to use it. So knowing
Yeah.
how to lead a relationship or a conversation or whatever. So back to where I screwed up slightly, do you think awareness, whether it's awareness of what's around you or self-awareness, do you think that is a gift or a skill?
I think it can be both.
A strength base?
I think some people have it as a gift,
Mhm.
but I also believe it is a skill that can be learned.
Okay.
I think I have both.
Okay. So back to earlier when you said that everything is connected, I think that you are correct. I think that everybody has it within them, but it is something that they have to
Yep.
work on to learn how to use.
Yes.
So,
Yes. And the more you use it or the more you practice it, essentially, it gets better.
yes, as with everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's all I have. That's it. We've covered them all. So, anyway, thank you for being on today. And if any of you guys out there need any one-on-one coaching, go to northmancoaching.com. I'll book you a free 60-minute session, and let's see if we can work something out together. And if you are going through a divorce or you're in the beginning stages of a separation, guys, I wrote a book. It's called The First 30 Days, and it will get you through pretty much the first 30 days or the beginning parts of a separation or divorce. It will teach you how to respond versus react. And if you follow this book properly, you will save yourself. And if you save yourself, you stand a chance at saving your marriage. This book is my gift to you, completely free. Northmancoaching.com. Download it and check it out. Other than that, check out all of our daily devotionals in the morning and our podcast every Sunday. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll find my mouse here, and we'll see you guys next week.
7 days, no obligation, just 7 days for an opportunity to make yourself a better man. Divorce, hardships, we all have or are going through it. You are not alone. Join the Brotherhood. Northman Coaching on School. Stop by today and begin the journey. Shoulder to shoulder, brick by brick. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. You are worth it. Join today.